problem we were trying to solve is that the Macania vine is growing rapidly in Nepal, and it's taking over their forests and livestock. So what we are trying to do is create a new tool to help combat that. The user needs that we decided upon were that it needs to be lightweight, which means under 5 pounds, needs to be able to reach 10 feet including the reach of the person using it, and it also must be multi-use. So for safety concerns, we had this holster made so that it covers the blade when it's not in use. Also, we drilled a screw into the here, which there's a hole in the blade so that it holds it into place so it won't go everywhere when you're using it. Also, this cap provides more sturdiness, and also it's lightweight so that the user does not have to strain when using it. Another thing that we changed with version 2 is that we shortened the length because it felt a little bit flimsy when we were using it, which is also why we added a wooden dowel that ran through the middle to kind of strengthen it up. We wanted our tool to collect over 100 pounds of vine per hour, which it did meet. With our first design, it collected about 110 pounds in an hour. Our second design was a little bit less because we actually used real vines, so it was a little bit harder to do, but it still got 106 pounds per hour. In terms of different design decisions, for our first design it didn't rotate, so we decided to add that in as we thought it would help collect more vines, which it did.
This is the MVRT, the Macania Vine Removal Tool. It consists of a handle, and on the other end is a blade. Upon rotating the handle, the blade will also rotate because of 2 ball bearings we have around this central tube. The main idea behind this tool is you twist up the vines and give a tug, and it should cut them down.
Our requirement matrix gave us a basic idea of what kind of product we wanted to make. Across the top we have our metrics such as flexibility, total mass, blade stiffness, total length, tensile strength, fatigue strength, number of parts, assembly time, cost, and performance. And across the left hand side we have our objectives that we wanted to try to meet with our device. For our Pew table we cross-referenced different ideas for the mechanism that we want to try to create against a standard. In this case is the kukri, which is a common blade used in Peru. By cross-referencing against the standard based on the criteria on the left hand side, we were able to develop a mix between a kukri and a double handle scythe, which we feel was a better application for what we were trying to achieve. Our after testing results for test 2, the durability of the cutting blade. Since we used a pre-manufactured blade, which we found would be more cost effective than building our own, we were able to find the hardness on the Rockwell hardness scale, which came in at a 55. Now this is a common number found in many types of cutting blades. This number equates to a tensile strength of 310,000 psi, which means that it takes that amount of pressure to crack the blade under tension. The common number for these types of blades is between 50 and 63. Within this range it gives us a very durable blade which will resist cracking and also will resist warping while still maintaining a very sharp edge for a long period of time. The FMEA chart is a failure analysis chart that gives us potential problems with the device during certain steps and possible failures during these steps. This chart gives us an idea of what could potentially go wrong during these different steps, which are shown on the left hand side. The steps that we used are cutting the vines, twisting up the vines, cleaning and sharpening the blade. All of these steps pose potential risk to the user if they're not done correctly. This chart assesses those risks and how likely they are to occur, and by using this information we can assess a risk priority number to each one of these steps. After that is done, we can provide a recommended action for the user to try to avoid any potential risk with this device.